Should you get your lymph nodes massaged on a regular basis? Find out on this next podcast of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting right here by my side. Thank you so much for joining us for another podcast. If you're a first-time listener, welcome.
Or watcher.
Or watcher, that's right, because now we're loading these to YouTube.
Yes, and
new platform for us.
If you normally listen to us and you actually want to see our beautiful faces, please go out to YouTube and you can watch us.
Yes, please check us out on YouTube. And for those of you that are regular listeners, we love that you have been with us on this journey for so many years, because we've been doing this for many years. If you're just coming into this podcast and it's been a while, or if you're brand new, please go back and listen to the previous podcast, because this is actually a sequel to the previous podcast.
Well, the last two podcasts, but we also have 300 podcasts before those.
Oh, yes.
So if you want to go back to the very beginning, you could go back long time ago and start with us from scratch.
Exactly. Long time.
Keep going forward, yeah.
But for this particular story that we're on, we started this about 2 weeks ago, right around New Year's. 2021, by the way. We are in year 2021. And so we're going to just pick right up where we leave off, because for the purposes of time, since we don't have a lot of time, we're going to just keep going. All right. So should you get your lymph nodes massaged regularly? Well, some people are like, what do you mean my lymph nodes massage? What are you talking about? Others might be familiar with it, but the answer is yes. Okay, the answer is yes. But what is it? What is a lymphatic massage? First of all, what is a lymph node? What is the lymphatic system? So the lymphatic system, we all have a lymphatic system, and it's basically a very intricate network of little vessels connected to lymph nodes. So if you've ever had a sore throat and felt underneath your throat or underneath your chin, you could feel some swelling. Sometimes when you get a sore throat or just like a little congestion, those are your lymph nodes, okay? Those are your lymph nodes that are fighting really hard to get you better. And they're fighting all the time to keep us healthy. I mean, there is lymph fluid that runs through these vessels and then through the lymph nodes. And basically, it's very, very important. And it's there to keep our body clean, to get rid of toxins and viruses and bacteria.
I try to tell people to think of it as like your trash system in your body. It's
exactly.
It's like taking in all the trash that's throughout your body, all the bacteria, all the viruses, all the stuff, and it's basically pushing it into these nodes and cleaning it and pushing it out and filtering and getting out all the bad stuff that we don't want, all the bad cells.
That's exactly right.
Bacteria, everything.
That's exactly right. And there are lymph nodes throughout your body, but there are actually concentrations of lymph nodes in certain areas of your body. For example, in your groin area, also in the axillary regions, in your armpits. And you've got him traversing up through your abdomen. You've got him down your legs. I mean, there are lymph nodes everywhere, with these then clusters that are in certain areas. All right. So,
and the only thing that pumps the lymph is moving the body.
Exactly.
So if you're very stagnant all the time, you do a lot of sitting, you're not really moving around a lot, then the lymph isn't able to move a lot and do what it needs to do.
And so that's really important. And because what happens then is that if the lymph isn't moving those toxins out of your body, and I'll just use toxins for now, okay? But just know that it filters out abnormal cells, okay? Cancer cells, viruses, bacteria, chemicals, just anything that does not belong there. That's what it's doing, okay? Like Tina said, it's filtering out all of this trash. But if it gets stagnated and if it's not moving the way it should, that's not good, because now you're getting collection of this toxin that's just sitting there. Okay, and imagine if you've got some abnormal cells, okay, that have like cancer cells. All right, your body is constantly getting rid of cancer cells, believe it or not. And so if you've got a stagnation where it's not moving, those cancer cells, if they get stuck in a lymph node, could start growing and multiplying, and before you know it,
you have a tumor.
You've got a tumor. Okay, so there is something that we can do about this to help us, to help prevent serious disease, and so I'll talk a little bit about that. But so when I found out that I had these enlarged lymph nodes, the first thing I thought of was, oh my goodness, I need to, and once we decided that we were going to do a biopsy because I was feeling good and my blood work looked good, I decided I'm going to do a lymphatic. And I even asked the oncologist that I went to see, I'm like, well, what do you think about lymphatic massage or lymphatic drainage? And she just looked at me, she's like, I don't know anything about that.
Which is not to her fault.
Not to her fault, because MDs, I didn't know anything about it either.
Most traditionally trained doctors do not know. Really, actually, she kind of admitted that she didn't know much about the lymph.
Yeah.
They're not really trained in the kind of more holistic modalities of healing organs.
Right. Well, she admitted that she didn't know about like these holistic approaches to helping the lymph, because her specialty, I mean, she's an oncologist, she's a cancer specialist and blood. So she sees a lot of people that come in with enlarged lymph nodes. And in the work that I do as a gastroenterologist, we get a lot of CAT scans on our patients. And whenever we see enlarged lymph nodes, we typically refer them right over to the oncologist so that they can work them up and, to make sure that there's nothing worrisome going on in there. And so we first learned about lymphatic massage, or some people call it lymphatic drainage. We learned about it when we started on our journey to start our wellness program over 10 years ago. So 11, 12 years ago is when we found out about it and learned.
We actually did a set of podcasts a couple years ago with Nancy Wakely,
yes,
who is like one of the premier lymphatic drainage specialists here in Phoenix. And so her podcasts are in our list if you want to go back and hear like specifically how lymph treatment works.
She would be in the podcast within the last 5 years, because we interviewed her in our office, and the one we were in now, which has been 5 years. But definitely go and listen to those. She's the one that we got introduced to, and we're going to over the last several years, but we weren't going to her regularly. Okay, we'd
go for like spring cleaning type
work,
but now that once she realized that she had this issue with the lymph, she decided she was going to put a lot of focus on lymph, meaning going like multiple times a week over the course of multiple months.
That's right, multiple times. So basically, it's not your typical. It's not like a deep tissue massage, because the lymphatic vessels, the lymph nodes, they run very close to the surface of your skin. All right, and so it's actually like a very gentle touch type of massage, very, very gentle. Now Nancy has a little bit of a different philosophy, and so she actually, especially in the abdomen where you have a lot of lymph nodes, she actually does a deeper massage, and but she's when they do this, they're going in the direction of how the lymph drains. All right, they're going in that direction, and so I decided I'm going to go full, dive in all the way and explore all these different holistic things. So I went to Nancy, and Nancy did a lymphatic, and she suggested that I start doing a lymphatic in light of what was found, that I start doing a lymphatic massage, at least once a week. I mean, if not, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I mean, honestly.
So for Dr. Cruz, that meant 3 times a week.
Right. Did I do it 3 times a week?
At first you did.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Wow, I can't believe I did that. Anyways, so I started, and Nancy also introduced me to something that we're going to talk about on another podcast. Okay, it's a vibration plate, and we'll talk more about that later. And yes, I did buy one.
We bought a lot of things.
We bought a lot of things, and
so we'll be able to tell you a lot.
That's
but
right.
Yes, we'll
that's right, because I've got her
right
using all of this stuff. Okay, yeah. She's using all this stuff. And Nancy also told me about a different modality of a lymphatic where they use they're using like these wands that have inert noble gases or something like that, which basically they run it along the skin, and basically those inert gases create reactions, create like some movement in the lymphatic tissue, in the lymph nodes, and helps to kind of get better blood supply, like into the lymph node. I mean, the lymph node has blood supply to it, which is amazing. And so this is a different type of a lymphatic that she does, which actually I think we should talk more about next week, because I really want to go a little bit into that. So I found someone through my colonic hygienist or therapist. She suggested someone, and so I started going to her
for lymphatic treatment.
For the lymphatic treatment with the wands. Mm-hmm. So I started going to her 2-3 times a week, and I started this probably like in early mid October. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's been amazing. And so I've learned a lot from my lymphatic girl. She's taught me a lot also. She's taught me about, she said, look, when we're moving all this lymph, she says, because when I do this treatment on you, we're like moving lymph like crazy. And so, she says, it is so important for you to drink so much water, a lot of water. And the honest truth is that I've never been a great water drinker. And so one of the things that I've become really great at over the last several months is drinking water. Okay. And so again, this is so important. This is so important because the water, your lymph it's fluid. Okay. And there's water in there. I mean, and so you need that water to help to flush out the lymph as it's draining, and so water has become really a big thing for me. I mean, I'm drinking, I kid you not, I'm drinking at least 120 to 150 ounces a day of water. All right. I mean, I'll drink 60 ounces off the bat. The first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning, 60 ounces. And then I just continue to drink water throughout the day. And so water is really important. Another thing that she has taught me, she's taught me many things. Another thing that she taught me is about the importance of pooping. Okay. Now, I'm a gastroenterologist. This is what I do for a living. All right. And I know that having bowel movements is so important because detoxing your body occurs in many different ways, okay? And when you have a bowel movement, when you evacuate your bowels, that's like one of the major ways that you detox your body. You're getting rid of toxin. I mean, please don't think for one moment that the poop that's sitting in your colon is like sweet little sugar popsicles that are going to nourish you, okay? Because it is toxin that's sitting there. It's the waste, all right? It's waste. Just like when you urinate, you're urinating waste. The poop, the stool that is sitting in your colon needs to come out. And so,
because the same blood that's running through your brain is running through your colon.
Exactly.
So anything that it's getting attached to in your colon is going to be running through your whole body, running through your brain. So that whole idea of brain fog and all that, a lot of it is directly correlated to not having regular bowel movements.
Exactly. So I realized that I wasn't, I have good bowel movements for the most part every day.
Pooping every day.
Yeah, for the most part I was pooping. Every once in a while I would skip a day. And sometimes it wasn't like a ton of poop. And I just realized that I really wasn't having the kind of poopage that I needed to be having, like to really help to detox my body. Because, like Tina said, that toxin sits in your body. So as she's doing this lymphatic drainage, she's moving fluid through the lymphatic vessels, and all of that stuff drains eventually through the bloodstream into your colon. Like you're getting rid of toxins through every way: urination, pooping, and so I started doing what I started really doing in the mornings more faithfully was like I was drinking 60 ounces of water in the morning. I would get up, and I'm usually up like 2 or 3 hours before I leave to go to work. So I would drink it over the course of like an hour and a half. What I started doing though was I started putting salts into the water more regularly, and I was pushing two bottles, so 64 ounces of water with the salts, like within 15-20 minutes.
So she's talking about her super salts.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a regimen for people who are constipated to do a shot of salts and then followed by a ton of water, and then that usually gets the system moving.
Exactly. So I'm alkalizing my system, which is wonderful for your body, and that drinking, that purging of or that heavy load of fluid that I was just drinking within like a short period of time, definitely like within half an hour, I was really cleaning out and having like amazing bowel movements.
I also remember those first couple of weeks of you going for lymph treatments that you'd be really nauseous after.
Yes.
And I think it had a lot to do with the amount of water you were drinking, because the moment you started drinking more water, the nausea started going away after the lymph treatment. So I think that's important too, to note that it is possible to be nauseous after those things if you're not drinking enough water to flush out the toxins that are being moved around.
That's right. And everybody detoxes differently. And for me, the way that I know that if that my body is detoxing, like, whatever, if we've been on a vacation and now we come home and now we're going to just do soups for like a week and really push the water just to kind of clean out our system from all the food we've eaten on vacation, I usually will get a little nauseated. So for me, nausea is one of my ways that my body tells me, wow, you're detoxing and you are somewhat overloaded on toxins. And so I have continued doing the lymphatic, and I am still doing the wand. I was doing it 2 or 3 times a week initially, but then I started to cut down to like once a week. It was just too much because I was trying to juggle this with my schedule, because I'm still working a full schedule.
Which we are going to talk about that part of your journey.
We are.
But not for a few more podcasts. We've got to continue to add all the things you did to get you.
That's right.
To that
point. And I want to talk to you guys about the wand a little bit more, maybe just, a little bit. But yes, and now, so I've been doing it weekly. I'm actually going for one in a couple hours, and I'm probably going to cut back now to every other week. I'll see what my lymphatic girl says today. And right before Christmas, she gave me the best news. She goes, wow. She goes, I can really feel, like she can feel based on the wand and how it feels when she's taking it over the lymph nodes, and based on the sounds, like she can tell how things are flowing. And so a couple of days before Christmas, I went, and she's like, your lymph is moving really nicely. That was actually a huge Christmas gift to me. So anyways, we're going to have to bring this podcast to a close. I'm so bummed because I'm having so much fun.
Literally, like everything you're doing, we could spend a whole day talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.